So read, stuck on the block, read, sitting in the box, read. Yo, what's going on, people? This week's great read. See, I feel like a bit of a chief, right? I'm gonna beg it a little bit right now. But I was in Jamaica in, what year are we in now? 16. So I must have been in Jamaica in 2014. Yeah, I was in Jamaica in 2014 at a festival called Calabash Literature Festival. And there was this tall, kind of stocky, dreadlock brother, who I found out his name was Marlon, walking around with a book that looked quite like this. Bright yellow book. That he said, now I'm annoyed, Marlon, if you ever see this. Like I knew he was a genius. You could just kind of tell. He had that vibe about him. But he was walking around with basically it was the original first print copy of this book, which he was guarding with his life, that he wasn't letting anyone take out of his sight. He'd offered to send me a copy at a later date. Like an idiot, I took his email, lost his email, didn't ask him to send me a copy. Chief. But I asked him what the book was about. And he said, yeah, I'm writing a book about Bob Marley. And now I've read the book, I'm very annoyed. Maybe Marlon just didn't want to talk to me that day. It was very nice all the other days. But to say this is a book about Bob Marley just doesn't even cut the mustard. Yes, it is centered around the assassination attempt. Maybe he was just being modest. That's what I think, because he did seem like a really, really nice guy. And I think he probably knew that he'd written one of the greatest novels of the last 20 years and just didn't want to be a big head. That's what I reckon happened. But anyway, the book is not about Bob Marley. It doesn't even mention Bob Marley by name. It mentions him as the singer consistently. And it really is a transatlantic 40-year history of Jamaica, told through the prism of the assassination attempt on Bob Marley and from a range of characters' perspectives. Bad man in Jamaica, a woman who got pregnant by Bob, members of the CIA. It doesn't shy away from the fact that American foreign policy was heavily involved and implicated in the violence of the Jamaican ghettos. It doesn't shy away from the fact that magically known murderers from Jamaica just managed to get visa to go to New York and come to London, and no one ever asked how that just happened by magic, when ordinary hardworking Jamaicans find it difficult to get into those countries. So it really looked at the global realities of neo-colonial foreign policy and its relationship with the ghettos of West Kingston, with drug trafficking, with what was going on in Colombia. I mean, but all that aside, all the politics aside, it is honestly one of the best written novels. My brethren said to me, she's read a lot more books than me, right? Definitely a lot more novels anyway. And when she read it, I hadn't read it yet. She said to me it was in her top 10 novels of all time. Now I know she's read bare novels. So I was like, nah, I was cussing. I was like, oh, come on, like, it's louder chatting shit, fam. I was like, all right, it's a great book, I get it, I'm gonna read it. But Lau saying this in your top 10 ever, like, that's a big statement. That's like Hess, Marquez, Toni Morrison. That's that conversation in that league. And then I read it. And I was like, it's only true Marlon's kind of younger than them. And he's kind of a contemporary and new kid on the block. People ain't going to want to say that. But really and truly, as a writer, he has created something that is definitely... I mean, Irving Welsh says on the back, it's the best novel he's read this century. So obviously it means since the turn of the millennium. And I can't say that because obviously I've done most of my reading in this century. But it's definitely one of my favourite novels ever. Big up Marlon James, Brief History of 7 Killings. It won the Booker Prize, so I'm late on it now. Everyone must know about it. If you don't know about it, you need to buy a copy. This is this week's great read. Big up. So read, stuck on the block, read, sitting in the box, read.